Good morning, Carl Munson here from expatsportugal.com. I feel like rolling my sleeves up this morning. We're at Hump Day, everybody. Quarta-feira. As very good, Francis, as you've pointed out. Good to see more and more Portuguese in the comments. But yeah, we're on Hump Day, and it's been my goodness, breakneck speed again this week. So much going on in the world as well, which feels a little bit challenging, doesn't it, at times, and difficult. We will talk about the major fire that has been in the south of Portugal and see what we can do to help with that, with the efforts there. It is under control now, but obviously there is still some sort of aftermath. Often these things move on, don't they? And yet the people whose homes have been destroyed and animals that have been displaced still need our care and attention. So let's see what we can do ongoingly there. But yeah, it's been a busy week, suffice to say, what with one thing and another. And thank you to everybody who joined us last night for me and Mrs. M's inaugural podcast of Spiritual Portugal, a spin-off from the Good Morning Portugal franchise. And it was great fun. 11 o'clock on a Tuesday evening. If you're a closet New Ager, or if you're in any way spiritually inclined, it may well be the show for you. It might not be, because, you know, people do have different opinions, don't they, when it comes to, well, everything, basically. But certainly in the matter of, you know, what is spiritual, that can certainly be a Marmite conversation. But the people who are there seem to like it and spread it thickly on their metaphorical toast. So how are you this morning? Let's see who's here. It is Ask Anything About Portugal Day, Wednesday. So let me see where that banner is. Yeah, let's pop that there so that people can ask questions. And the hive mind here, the collective of, we're a various bunch, a varied bunch, aren't we? People in the country, people outside the country, people who want to come and live in swanky cities and up-and-coming cities, and people who want to live in the countryside, the happy homesteaders, the hippie happy homesteaders, all sorts of people, the nomads just passing through, people just taking a little bit of a peek and having a little dip of the toes. Portugal, for me, all are welcome here, and all have something to say on the matter. So as well as asking questions, you can answer them here on a Wednesday. So please do that. Please accept that you are in some way an authority on some aspect of life in Portugal, and we can be very helpful, as I think we are. If I may blow our own trumpet, some of this, look. That's the best jingle I've got at the moment for anyone who's made a move towards Portugal recently. One of these for Jim White. Let's give Jim White some of that. Hey up, Jim. Another step closer on the D7 side of things. So a round of applause for you. What do these other buttons do? Oh, it's like a quiz show, isn't it? Sorry, you didn't get the right answer. Could do that for some of the answers this morning, couldn't we? Or alternatively, okay, bon dia, good morning, everyone, from Andrea. Hey, Anton is here as well. Hey, you folks, how you doing? All the Netherlanders were the first in. With a Northern European sense of punctuality, or pre-punctuality, I think. Bon quadro-feira a todos de Amsterdam. Yeah, and Francis coming in with that same sentiment as well. Sentiment, just calling the day of the week that it is. Quarta-feira. Feliz quarta-feira. Happy Wednesday today. Bon dia to you as well, Francis. And yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Northern Europeans are kicking things off. Still staying up in that part of the world. Elra's here from Finland as well. Good morning, everyone. And a question, I think. Is this for all of us, or just you asking Tom? Oh, look at this. It's some Dutch. I'm not even going to... I think that's a private message in a public place there. Oh, the other thing to mention as well is if you're new to this and you want to have your question prioritized, you can become a member now. I've done this thing where there's perks for people who become a member and pay a monthly amount, and you can do. I'll put the link up so that you can do that. I mean, you can, if you want to, if you've been thinking for ages, oh, I do want to support the YouTube channel. here's the way to do that. 2 perks of membership of our YouTube channel. One of them is that I'll see that you're a member, and that might help when so many people are now talking to each other in the comments. It's nice to be able to see a little emoji emoticon thing that goes next to your name that will show me that you are a member who might need prioritizing for your question. And the other way to do that on the cheap is to just put question in front of your question. I know folks are putting at Elra or at Tom. It's not that easy to see, but that's a way there. If you want to become a member, that's the way to do it. $9.99 a month. YouTube choose these thresholds. That seemed like the right one to pick. So you'll get prioritized on questions, or it is slightly awkward for me to say that, and I don't want to disadvantage anybody in that way, but it will help psychologically just to see that, and I can pick out your question there and ask it, and you'll get a nice shout out, and you'll get your question asked of this wonderful crowd. The other thing is, and possibly more importantly, and less exclusive perhaps, is that you'll get focused video content. So when we had that complaint last week about too much waffle, and they just wanted the content part, that's what will be in an area for the members, is the focus bits about how to prepare for a fire, for example. The bit on Monday when we said we're making friends with finances, we didn't get to that until 10:02. I mean, feel free as well to timestamp the videos in the comments, everybody, and to make that easier for other people. But that's I hope you get the gist there. You'll get focused content if you're a member, and I'll see that you're a member when you're making comments in the comment and chat section. Yes, while we're on the matter of YouTube and podcasting, yes, I haven't published a podcast or podcasted the episodes since last Thursday, as somebody pointed out on our Facebook page. I do apologize for that. I've actually run out of space on our podcasting platform, and trading up to the next level is a very big commitment that I'm unsure about. And what I need to do, and I'm sure other people have been in this position, I need to delete some old material. And I feel a little bit, should I delete that or not? I could just download it, of course, but I haven't had the time to do it. So bear with us. If you're a podcast listener and you're a bit peeved that nothing's been coming through, that's because I've run out of space and I need to do a little bit of housekeeping on that. But normal service will resume, and we'll make sure that the cutting edge is there and some of the older stuff will be removed or downloaded elsewhere. So I hope that satisfies anybody's podcasting concerns there. Okay, let's have a look at what everybody's saying this morning, and let's see if there's any questions coming in on Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday. This is the one I do on my own, by the way. Michael, although Garvo might turn up, it's always great fun. We do often collapse into fits of hysterical teenage laughter when he joins me. I think we've done that a couple of times now. And he's got a lovely new video out. So if you do want to join me, I'll send you the link. Otherwise, we'll schedule that for sometime in the future. Your video should be seen by a wider audience, as should you. So you're very welcome here. But I have 2 of these Wednesdays with the Doc and another one with Michael Heron. I think Michael Heron's on the first Wednesday of the month and Doc on 2nd and 4th. And here I am on the 3rd on my Todd. But it leaves a little bit of room for somebody else who might want to come in and sit alongside me. Interesting question that came in overnight, not necessarily a question for this morning, but it does apply more generally to what's going on. Let me just put this on the screen for you. And I think this is a fair comment, actually, and I think we need to find a way of addressing it. This was on YouTube, and it was on one of our videos, Understanding Portugal's D7 visa and NHR tax regime. Adrian asks, Adrian Bayani, why all the questions are related to British and US citizens? Why not other countries' citizens? Is this process or channel specifically for UK and US people? Well, it really isn't. Absolutely not, Adrian. But it kind of defaults to the people who ask the most questions and who are largest in number within our forum and in our community. So there are, having said that, I think we would say possibly EU and US, or EU and North America seem to dominate in terms of numbers. But we're happy to help anybody, really. So anyone from around the world. And this might be the place to do it on a Wednesday. And maybe we need a forum area. If somebody is also feeling that, why not go onto our forum, expatsportugal.com/community. and set up a thread for non-EU or a country-specific thing. The more people seem to be applying from India at the moment, and I don't know. other countries that don't figure so highly in these processes. Adrian's absolutely right. Why not start your own country-specific thread in our forum? Maybe we would welcome that. And I'm sorry if you feel that way, Adrian. It's not in any way a conspiracy to marginalise or undermine anyone. That's not how we would like to be seen here. So moving on, and thank you, Stephen. Stephen was with us last night. Hola, bon dia todos from Jersey. Where are you, Jersey? It was great. So good to show your pictures yesterday. Where are you now? I hope you weren't too affected by the horrors of the fire in southern Portugal in the Algarve yesterday. A grim day down there, and we will gladly share the news that it has been resolved, and also what you can do to support the Bombeiros ongoingly. Antonio F. also here. Bon dia. Jose Pedro Martins is here. Bon dia. And Paul Richards, still in Harrogate, I think. Yes, greetings from Harrogate, and may your spirits go with you. Yes, don't leave them hanging about. They need to be where they belong. Sunny just for a change, 15 degrees centigrade in Harrogate. We are nearly there to become a true expat, Trexpat. Good luck to everybody who's going through the task, yes. And this is what you'll be hearing in your ears as we cheer you, as you get the ball towards the line and then over it. And I'll have a quick sip of tea. Quite nice, that, isn't it? That round of applause. Let me know that you are hearing it, or is it just me that I can hear it in my ears? And I'll have to go and see a psychologist. If it's only me that can hear applause in my ears, either I need to go to a hearing expert or a psychologist. Morning all from Andy, also with us last night. More than 600 Bombeiros, says Mateus, at the fire, I believe. Yeah, absolutely. It was a massive, sterling effort, and it was described as hell by those who attended. Fiona Worrell, bon dia. As expected, I was asleep long before your show with your lovely Mrs. M last night, but we'll be watching it later today. We do understand that. We have to do it when the kids are gone to bed. And as soon as they are satisfactorily asleep and rested, we will be jumping onto the live stream, but we aim for 11. We started with a little bit of a meditation before at a few minutes to a tongue-in-cheek meditation, has to be said, but we will get on as early as we can, but 11 seems to be it by the time everything's really calmed down at Carl Munson. And who else is saying what here in the comments? See, this is the difficulty I have with everybody. I'm not complaining. I'm really not complaining that you're talking to each other, but I'm scrolling through saying, do I share that or not? I enjoyed last night. Thank you. Isn't that the text we live for? Isn't that the SMS we like to receive in the morning? I enjoyed last night. Thank you. Should we do it again? Let's do it again next Tuesday at 11 Portugal time. Thank you very much for that, Jim. It was great news to hear that you had made another step closer to moving to Portugal. Nice one. And that he's got 4 copies of What the Bleep that need to be sold. I think I missed last night's Spiritual Portugal. Where was it? And links. So you just look up Spiritual Portugal on YouTube. I'm so surprised. We do have the domain name, which I think I have pointed at. Yeah, if you look up spiritualportugal.com, you should be able to find your way towards it there. Arsonists should burn in their own bushfires. Now, I understand the emotion that goes with that comment, and I am disgusted alongside you, Andy, there. Who in their right mind at the moment, and there are some theories as to why they do this. It is economically driven, isn't it? And some are just straightforward nutters, basically. I hope you don't mind me using that phrase. It's no insult to anybody with a true psychological difficulty. But I mean, these people are a special kind of bad, aren't they? Who set fire to the forest, knowing what can happen and knowing how many lives can be put at risk of human and animal life and destruction to the landscape. And we are hearing that there are some men were arrested for starting a fire purposefully, on purpose. And I just don't get it. And I honestly don't want them to burn in their own bushfires. And I'm sure you don't really mean that, Andy. And we certainly can't condone the sort of summary execution of people whose behavior we don't like here on the show. But I feel your emotion, my friend. Absolutely. Why on earth? One theory is that by starting a fire, the professionals in the fire industry get a payday, which is that's one of the weird things about our economy, isn't it? So many terrible things are factored into gross domestic product. Probably fires are, aren't they? And on a personal level, some people are motivated to start a fire because they might end up being involved in putting the fire out, which they get paid for. I have heard of this theory. The other, of course, is that the plantations that are especially susceptible to torching and burning up are then sold for a lower market value than they might have been. Gossip, speculation, theories. I'm not saying this is absolutely the case, but this is what I've heard, and I'm sharing it in a grown-up and adult environment where you can make of it what you will here, and you may have other theories of your own that you might wish to share. Let's not go too far down a dark rabbit hole with this, but I think, it's fair enough to point out what's going on and maybe find ways of stopping it happening, more importantly. So I understand that, Andy, absolutely. Hola, bon dia todos. I conked out, a great phrase. 10:30 last night. Sorry, I missed it. I'll try next time. Anyone here live around Arcos do Valdevez? I don't know where that is. Is that the new part? You're moving around in the north of Portugal, aren't you there, Khadija? Rebel mama. Looks like you're off the naughty step and back into Facebook today, right? Well done. I think more highly of you, I have to say. It's not in any way a shameful thing to be kicked off Facebook these days. Some of the nicest and best people I know have that dubious honor. Catherine, hello, Catherine. I haven't seen you for a while, and always grateful for your support of the show from back in the day. How do you convert your COVID vaccination card that proves you have been vaccinated in the US to an acceptable digital Lisbon, Portugal format? That's a great question that I don't know the answer to, but I suspect somebody will do here who's recently come into the country, the likes of Jersey, or those who have researched it from afar. Maybe somebody like Jeff Jackson. Bon dia todos. Hello, Jeff. How are you? Mark's here as well, also with us last night. Thanks for that, Mark, in Norfolk. And midlife crisis. This is a lovely greeting, isn't it? Midlife crisis world tour. Bon dia, está tudo fixe. Fixe means cool, right? So all is well. Bon dia, está tudo fixe. Fixe, pá. Ipa. Bon dia from a very late night in Texas. A late night in Texas. Sounds like I'm the one who's had the late. Well, I did have the late night. Leah H. Good morning. Well, good evening to you. But a bon dia. Alegria from Portugal to you this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. I saw the thread, but I couldn't register to the forum. I will give it another try after this. Okay, so is that the Dutch, the Netherlands thread? So there we are having outbreaks of particular nationalities who want to gather themselves around nationality when it comes to moving to or being in Portugal. Excellent news. Bon dia from an American expat in Provence, France. Robert Winkel's traditional welcome to us from France. Awful fires in the south there as well in France. Hope all is well over there in France this morning in beautiful Provence. Bonjour to you, Robert Winkel. Bon dia from a wet and misty Glossop. My goodness. Now, who here has driven through Glossop and knows it as wet and misty? I do. Having lived in Sheffield and driven to Manchester on a number of occasions, you have to go through Glossop, don't you, to get over there through high peaks, across the Snake Pass. So Mace Games, good morning to you in the wet and misty Glossop. I'm guessing it is the one in is it Derbyshire, or is it Greater Manchester? I'm not sure. But maybe there's a Glossop, Massachusetts, or somewhere like that as well. So maybe you could confirm that for us, Mace. Fires in Madeira yesterday, as well as in the mainland. Fogos.pt is where you need to keep abreast of this for your own safety and to find out whether things are under control. But moving to Madeira, thank you for tuning in this morning. And sorry to hear that bad news there in Madeira. Yeesh. It's the time of year, of course. And as we've said before, it is a part of life in hot countries, isn't it? And countries that have forested themselves in a monoculture seem to be especially prone to this. So we have to learn to live with it in some ways, a bit like the old pandemic, a bit like the virus. But there is some finessing to be done, I think, as well, in the context, in the backstory with these things. Last month, says Antonio, arrested one that created a delayed electronic devices to start forest fires. That is a special kind of idiocy, is it not? I mean, who and why would you do that? I don't know. I was going to say, I hope it's not one of these pathetic incel individuals. That would be a terrible thing to say or assume. But it does boil my blood until I see that happening and then calm myself to know that people have these personal problems that they then take out on the rest of the world in such a violent and vicious way. But that's taken a lot of consideration, isn't it? To create a delayed electronic device to start a fire in the forest. Dear, oh dear. Georgie George, bon dia todos from India. Hey, Georgie George. Good morning to you in India. Sad to hear about the fires and the arsonists. First 4 letters, very... a moment, excuse me, making me cough there. Francis. Yes, they do put the arse in arsonist. It's absolutely true. First four letters, very appropriate. We struggle with it in South Africa too for many years. I can't understand why. I mean, I suppose this is this isn't well, it is a sexist thing to say, isn't it? I think it's men who do it, isn't it? A special kind of man that seems to be on the planet at the moment that hasn't grown up or something like that, or feels aggrieved and entitled, and his only way to make his feelings felt or get his own back is to do something like this, be a shooter or be an arsonist and cause destruction and havoc based on unresolved but on not being able to grow up. Basically, it's not the sort of thing a grown-up, sensible man does, is it? So what happens there? That's pretty deep this morning, isn't it? The territory we're going into, possibly Jordan Peterson, dark web territory there, right? Morning all from a wet Limburg in the Netherlands. Yet again, still smiling though. Well done, Mike and Maggie. Keep smiling every day. A day closer to Portugal. Bon dia, Catherine from Lisboa. I am a member and did ask a question. Please answer. Yeah, absolutely. We will get onto that. And let me take that away. If it doesn't get answered this morning, there was your question. How do you convert your COVID vaccination card that proves you have been vaccinated in the US to an acceptable digital Lisbon, Portugal format? That's hanging there, Catherine. And hopefully will be sorted out this morning for you. Recommendations is another one for long-term 2-month car hire. Please, preferably Faro. Okay, my recommendation there, simple one. And we had Rory, the MD of Zest, with us on the show, on the webinar that we did last Thursday, all about motoring. That is now in the in our repository of videos, webinars, the Portugal Calling ones that we do every Thursday evening at 7:30. And I would say, yeah, go with Zest and Rent Auto. Rent Auto, my particular. When you go on to Zest, you get and you can do that. So let me see if I can find that for you on our expatsportugal.com website, and I'll see if I can find the direct Zest link, because we make a little bit on an affiliate link there. So that's ideal if you can go in that way via our affiliate link. I'll see if I can find that for you. Zest are great and good value, and they tend to get I was going to say the best prices. They you'll see adverts. Kay, so this is your question, Kay Cooper. What is it? We pay you to rent a car, or €2 a day or something like €2 a week, and then they want to trade you up on some insurance malarkey, don't they? So when you get there, they'll say, it's all very well getting a €2 hire with us, and it's very good value, and we'll go over the car with a fine-tooth comb. But would you like to take out our intergalactic nuclear war threat insurance, which we thoroughly recommend? Because if anyone looks at your car in a bad way, you might be susceptible to an insurance excess of €2 million, and then it goes into all that sort of stuff, and you think, oh my god, better take out the extra insurance. Before you know it, it's back to a price you would recognize and think, okay, they've got to make their money somewhere, and this is how. To me, Zest don't do that. You can take out upgrade insurance for the wear and tear sort of stuff, but they don't play games with you, in my experience. And I've been hiring cars from Zest, zest.co.uk, actually, for nearly 4 years now. And I found them great. Rory was on our webinar, and he's been in the business for 20 years. I couldn't believe it. The first question I asked him was like, did you start this when you were 10 years of age then, if you've been doing this for 20 years? You look like a really young man to me. They've been doing it a long time, and they've been doing a good job. So let me see if I can find that for you. But that would certainly be my recommendation. Trade others in the comments, folks. If you've had a good, that's what you want, isn't it? You want a recommendation, a word of mouth recommendation with these sorts of things. No, I can't find our Zest link. We'll have to do better on that in future. But just go find them anyway. Zest.co.uk. Pop Faro into the where you want your pickup point to be, and they will do the rest for you, and some quotes will come up. It is a very expensive time of year this at the moment. Okay, this is the peak, and the prices aren't cheap at the moment, and worldwide demand for cars to put into the rental business, he was telling us, is very difficult. There's a chip shortage for cars. There's a shortage of cars to go into car hire. They are at a premium, and this is a really bad time. If you can delay your trip until after everybody else's vacations and movements, probably October, you'll get a much better deal. Because I've been using a hire car as my everyday sort of car until we were very nicely given a car recently. Thank you, Kate. And that's what we did. We hired a car because the prices were so competitive until quite recently, and then they went crazy. It is crazy at the moment, Kay. That's something to bear in mind. But Zest and Rent Auto is the combo I would recommend. Paul Richards likes CarJet. They sound exciting, don't they? Appreciate the podcast update. I listen to it often. So sorry about that, Jeff. I know. Yeah. Tell me, Jeff, why do you prefer to listen to, if I may put you on the spot here, why do you listen to the podcast? Is it because YouTube isn't as easy to listen to? Because it's exactly the same content, isn't it? I don't change it at all to stick it on the podcast. But is it easier for you to just have it downloaded and then press the button and play? Whereas with YouTube, it's hard to keep YouTube playing, isn't it, in the background if you're not actually kind of watching it. Is that why you prefer the podcast? Please let me know if you don't mind. Mrs. T will be happy to sit in with you, Cobra. So there we go. On Ask Anything About Portugal, Mrs. T could be here with traditional Devon recipes. Who would like to hear that? We could get on the phone. Hello, we are looking for a long-term rental over winter. Is there any special site or company to contact for this? Stefano, it depends where you are, in which part of Portugal you're in. Let me just put in our accommodation link to Spotahome. Spotahome is where what we would recommend to you. And that's in our perks and freebies section. Premium member benefits, and I'm going to try and find that. That's where Zest is as well. Okay, mystery solved here on the fly. If you go into this link here, this goes back to UK as well, and for you, Stefan L. And actually, let me bring it onto the screen for you so you can see exactly what I'm talking about on this Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday. So here we go. Let me bring that onto the screen for you right about now. There we go. There's Zest. Do excuse me. 5% discount as well on Zest car rental fees. Get a quote by clicking the button there. How about that? And that co-pilot is not necessarily supplied with the car there. Martinhal, 10% discount on room rates and food and beverages. Did you see my review of Martinhal in Chiado in Lisbon? So good. I recommend, if you want to treat yourself, go stay at Martinhal. Get 10% off. By being a premium member. Somebody was asking about yoga last night. We were having a good giggle about yoga, actually. People who've got yoga mats but never use them, and how useful they are to level up a table every now and then, or if children fall out of bed. Actually, yes, a new application for yoga mats. If you are in Portugal and you're in a house with tiled floors, that's quite good to put next to the bed. And if your kids are prone to falling out of bed, or if you are, for that matter, if you've been drinking too much Portuguese red or something like that, and you might roll out of bed, stick your yoga mat down as a safety measure. Health and safety tips. Follow me for more. 20% discount off online weekly Hatha yoga classes. Fiduciary wealth management, 20% discount there. We'll see Paul again after his holidays. And there we go. That's what I was trying to find for you, Stefan. Bear in mind that mainly Lisbon and Porto residences here. And, if it comes to looking for a place outside of the main cities, I would recommend you get on the forum and ask people. It's notoriously difficult to find a rental in Portugal, I think. I mean, you can do Airbnb, and you can ask the Airbnb owner if they'll extend. That's one strategy, one tactic. That's happened for us. We've done that, and that can happen. And if you go onto the real estate websites and go into the rental sections, my theory is that they don't really want to be dealing in rentals. There's not a lot in it for them. They want to be making 5% on a house sale. And when they list a rental, what's in it for them? They might ask for a month's worth rent for doing the deal, but it's a lot of hassle, isn't it? A lot of comeback possibly as well. So letting agents are few and far between, and I would say it's not the best way to find a rental. Your best way is Your best way is having a Portuguese BFF, best friend, over here in Portugal, and getting people to put the feelers out. I'm going to have to play this. I'm going to have to play the "We'll Be Right Back" thing in just a moment. Where is it? Please stand by. Only just back in my chair in time for that. rushed over to the water filter in the office. I think it's all these late nights, actually. Hold on just a minute. It's at times like these when I actually need a co-host. So if I get a fit of the giggles or the coughs like this, I can just hand over and just get somebody to cover for me. But look, you can hear it, can't you? I think it is all these late nights catching up with me, frankly. I'm going to play you another video, and we had a little bit of a giggle about this recently, but we need it. So look through some of the production idiosyncrasies, if you will, and enjoy and think about coming to the Algarve. We'll be right back after this.
November, Romeo Alpha Lima Golf, Faro Tower, bom dia, runway 28, clear to land.
Everything is still here as you left it. Welcome back to the Algarve. It was always here waiting for you. Here there is always a hand and a smile to make you feel safe and at home. Take a deep breath and feel the salty sea breeze mixed with the green. Rise up and fill yourself with fresh air. Enjoy every breeze and let yourself go. Then, hold your breath for a moment and let yourself emerge into our sea. Open all your senses and share every moment. Rediscover, rebond, relax. Welcome back to the Algarve.
Okay, so we're back with answering. Who was that who asked that question? It was about longer term rentals, and Stefan L. I'm going to talk my way through this. Okay, bear with me. I'm sorry if it sounds awful. Hello, we're looking for a long term rental over winter. Okay, so get some help on the ground if you possibly can. And the way to make friends in Portugal, one of the ways to make friends in Portugal, is obviously through our forum and get people asking for you on the ground, or when people are moving on. These are the ones that are gold dust, I think. There are people who have had their 12-month rental. They might have moved out of it early or want to move out of it early, and they might want to transfer the lease. Get to know people in the forum from that point of view. So I hope that helps, Stefan L. And I would look forward to other people's input on that. Kate's here as well. Has anyone in the Caldas Silver Coast area used a company or engineer they can highly recommend to design or install solar heating, cooling, car charging, and ventilation systems? Very ecologically minded there, as we would expect from you, Kate. So you're looking at a rig basically there, aren't you? So you can get your car charged, you can get a solar rig sorted out and have your ventilation, maybe heat and cooling. Heating and cooling there in the Silver Coast, Caldas. I don't know anyone. I haven't been here long enough to have made the acquaintance of somebody of that caliber, Kate, but that's going to be interesting to watch out for. Hello from Saranda, Albania. So interesting, Tarij Nishvanda. Are you looking forward to coming to Portugal, Tarij from Albania? I wonder, is that why you're here this morning? Try Zest. Don't know the correct spelling. They were on the motor special this week, Carl. Can you put their link in here? I can so do that. Thank you for that prompt. Where is this? I'm going to have to do a quick cut and paste of claim this benefit. Okay, I think so. To get 5% off Zest, I think you actually have to email us with that. Admin at expatsportugal.com for the extra 5% off there. And to get a quote, if you just want to just get on with it and forego the 5% for now, why not click on this link? That's our affiliate link through to Zest Car Rental. Thank you, Matthias, for suggesting that. What would I do without you? Still in Albufeira, drove yesterday. BTO, I'm not sure what that abbreviation means, to Vera, but didn't see any fires. Okay, it's interesting, isn't it? When you see the news, you just think that whole part of the country is shrouded in smoke. Thank goodness, as awful as it was, there was still some relief from that in parts of Tavira. Tarij, yes, I heard it. So you heard what there, Tarij? Oh, I hear the applause. Thank you very much. It's not just the voices in my head or the sounds in my head. That's fantastic. It's funny. We're going back a long way into the comments. Yes, all the sounds are coming through. This may be too niche, but as a dual national who's never lived in Portugal but thinking of having a trial run, how long can I stay in Portugal without needing to register as a resident? From where did you say 90 days if you're a Schengen person before you need to register? And I'd speak from my own personal experience there. That's what we needed to do as people from the former European colony of the United Kingdom. But you don't say where you're from there, Midlife Crisis World Tour. But if you're from, you would have already organised a tourist visa, I suspect, anyway, which would give you the conditions of how long you need to be here before you have to register or get a longer term set up. But if you're a Schengen person, it's 90 days. Patricia Gorst, bon dia todos. Hello, Patricia. How are you? How's Scotland this morning? A good lab to get a COVID-19 antigen and T-cell antibodies test, please. So Kay she's working through a checklist, isn't she? Car rental, check. Good lab. Paul, can you answer that one, I wonder? Andrea Hogan, having trouble creating account on Expats Portugal website. Boo, so sorry about that. One of these for that. I have tried several times. No luck. Is anyone else having issues? Okay, Andrea Hogan, please email me, carl@expatsportugal.com with a screenshot, maybe as far as you've got with that process, and I'll hand it over to brighter minds than mine who can help you get that ball across that particular line. I'm so sorry you're having trouble there. Marmite, I ain't had any for years. Slowly wasting away without it, says Will. That was a long time ago on the show that we were talking about that. I did not have any problems. Maybe I can help via Teams or Team Viewer session, or did you get any error messages? There you go, Matthias. What a gentleman you are. The naughty step on Facebook. Who's been there? Who wants to say? We know that Will has. We know that I have. And now we know that Rebel Mama Khadija has. Who else has been banned from Facebook? Oh, wait, yes. I had some issues, as I recall now, having to see it again. Alternatively, you can send me an email to the admins, and I believe they will sort it. Oh, we so will. My husband, says Khadija, made a film a number of years ago about an arsonist in his neighborhood. The man had serious mental illness. Yeah, the film, that doesn't surprise me. The film is on YouTube. And we need to be able to sort of nip this in the bud, don't we? To see somebody with those sorts of tendencies, because of the amount of damage that they can do. How fascinating that documentary there, if you want to take a look at that. And that might be of special interest to the Portuguese authorities here to kind of, do a profiling, I suppose, of that kind of person. Having the same issue, no error, just goes back to the page to create an account. I'm so sorry to hear of this trouble, Andrea. But look, helpline from Midlife Crisis. You need to complete all the sections, including nickname. Otherwise, it won't complete. I have had a few goes. Thanks, everybody, for your collective hive mind tech support this morning. Capricorn 12. Oh, my goodness. Capricorn 12, while you're there, and this is great, apart from me not remembering to share all the pictures or them being buried in the sheer volume. Now, Capricorn 12, you sent me a most beautiful photograph, didn't you, of your setup? Am I allowed to show that on the screen here? Because it is a delight. So Capricorn 12, please let me know if I can show that beautiful picture in Sagres, if you will, because I really want to. And we'll come back to a few of those towards the end of the show, right? 22 already, my goodness. I think my coughing fit went on for a good 5 or 10 minutes of that. I'm going to walk into my local health centre next week and ask. I just got my first shot here and second in New York. Let's keep in touch for info. Absolutely. Les, hey, Les. Bon dia from California. We're surrounded by forest fires as we speak. Oh, no. 500,000 acres there. Unbelievable, isn't it? Les, I haven't made a lot of progress on the question that you asked me, but it's still in mind. Actually, there was, yeah. Let's communicate by email, because there is something to say on that, albeit not conclusive, but something that might help with what you were asking me about privately there. Okay, we have proof of US vaccine, but it is no good here. We had to get tested, auto test. At the front of our host in Porto. So there you go, auto test. Is that a brand or a particular style of testing? You can get 2 tests in a pharmacy for around €4. Maybe for Kay, she's coming in. She needs to do it on the other side of the border, but good info. Stephen Wells, have looked at Fogos for fire info. Seems to show current risk. Do you know anywhere for historical data? I would have a look at IPMA for that, IPMA, which tells you about areas that are susceptible. IPMA, IPMA. Glossop is in a borough called High Peak. There you go. Annexed from Derbyshire by political boundary changes. Can't wait to swap it for central Portugal. Well, I didn't like to say, Mace, but it is often wet and misty up there, isn't it? Andrea Hogan, you guys have my cell and or email, so give me a shout if I can. Look at this. incredible outbreaks of humanity here on the Good Morning Portugal show. You lot are wonderful. Bon dia, todos, Carl from DJ. Just thought you deserve a pat on the back for being one of the best hosts of any daily YouTube podcast. Well done and keep it. Oh, bless you, DJ. Thank you very much for that. I'll take it. Thank you so much. That's really nice and kind of you. In Australia, a lot of poor younger men are left behind these days and are seen as having nothing to contribute to society. I imagine this creates a lot of frustration. Absolutely, Michelle. And I think it is a sort of two-headed approach here, isn't it? On the one hand, you might say, well, boo-hoo, that doesn't give you the right to set fires to forests or shoot people. But we have to deal with it at source as well, don't we? And I think there's something in that. I absolutely do. And, I mentioned Jordan Peterson before. I think he's quite hard on young men who are pathetic. And sometimes young men who are pathetic, as I have been in my past, respond to that. Sometimes you need the counsel of a strong man, don't you? An alpha male who you can respect, who says, no, that is not the way to go about being a young man. Try this. But they need to be a good example. And you do need a supportive context in which to be that person, don't you? So, yes, you're absolutely right, Michelle. I think we do need, as well as the individual to take responsibility, we need a society that will help people who have been marginalized. And that's an increasing thing, I would say. Jacqueline Branco, good morning. Thank you for the great launch last night. I had my Pro 750. What is that? A Pro 750. That sounds like a good device to have if it helps you stay up and enjoy the evening. Have a great day. Tell us more about. I think there are other people here who might like a Pro 750, whatever it is. But if it helps them stay up in the evening with the drooping eyelids of our community, that sounds great. So help continues there. Fantastic for the Nederlanders who need to get onto the forum. To get you, David Dawson, thanks for this, David. To get your COVID passport in Portugal, you present your NIF, American vaccine cards, and passport to your local health centre, aka Centro de Saúde. And that will be an E on the end, not an I there. I think that's a bit of predictive text going on. Don't go to Saudi Arabia to get that sorted out. It's your Centro de Saúde. That's once you've got here, isn't it? I hope that works for you, Catherine. And I suspect your inquiries about how to enter into the country appropriately with that. Or maybe it isn't. And maybe that is absolutely the right answer. And thank you to David for it. As for the vaccine electronic info, is that a kind of sort of comment there, Andy? You're not happy with that? How do you get an international driver's license from the one I have from the USA to rent a car? How do you get an international driver's license from the one I have from the USA to rent? Well, it's okay. Rory confirmed this. At Zest, at least, they will recognize an international driver's license, and they'll pretty much, most of the providers they have of cars will recognize pretty much any international driving license, whether it's formally an international driver's license or an American one or whatever. So if you're licensed to drive and you have appropriate ID, they will rent to you, Catherine. Hope that helps. Michael Labram. Recently in Australia, a 6-year-old girl started major fires outside Adelaide. Yikes. How can I open a Portuguese bank account quickly? I'm just going back to that. Patricia, short answer is you can't. Quickly? What are you thinking? Recently in Australia, 6-year-old girl. Now, this is an education issue, isn't it? And this is, children need to see, don't they, the possible consequences of doing such a thing. But then again, maybe she saw the consequences and wanted to bring them on. That could be it, couldn't it? So it's hard to know what to say about that, but that just sounds dreadful, basically, Michael. How to open a Portuguese bank account quickly? Right. Are you wanting to do it remotely? Are you going to London? Now, I understand. Somebody told me there's a Millennium BCP office bank in London, which will allow you to open a bank account in the UK. And I imagine that could be done fairly quickly because of the culture in London. Chop, chop, busy, busy. You will probably be able to do that fairly quickly. There's no opening a bank account quickly in Portugal. It depends what you mean by quickly. I mean, you're going to have to do your 27 signatures or whatever and, queue up and do it. Tell us more, Patricia. What are the circumstances for doing that? Gilda at EI will do it for you. Then it won't be quickly, but you won't have to go through all the malarkey yourself and it will come at a cost. And other people will do it for you online as well. But is your complaint about you're suspecting it's going to take ages and how can you speed that up? or how can you do it from where you are? Tell us more. That could be helpful. There are several reasons for setting fires. Being a pyromaniac, accident, farmers burn dry materials before planting and sometimes lose control of the flames, fireworks, lots of festivities. Yes, indeed. And even an old broken bottle, right? A magnifier. I mean, these things happen accidentally rather than purposefully. And at this time of the year, adds Antonio F. Yeah, I may be being a bit simply. I mean, that is me, isn't it? It's a little simplistic sometimes. Thank you for that elaboration there, Antonio. A man of reason, and always a pleasure to have you in our company here. I live here, says Kay. All right. Okay, so you can still use Zest. And what was your other question? I can't remember now. But let's have a look. Let's scroll back and see what you were asking before. So you don't have to be coming into the country to rent a car here. You can use Zest and Rent Auto, as I've been doing for years and years. And Kay, forgive me, I can't. Oh, testing. €4 at the pharmacy. I think that was the other thing, wasn't it, that Jersey was able to tell us about. Okay, Elra, re-COVID passport, isn't it related? Isn't related also to the vaccine type being EU approved. My brother had his vaccines in Angola. When it arrived last week, it wasn't accepted because variety not approved. What happened though? Did he have to promptly have a test? Because that's what you can be tested or have the vaccine, right, coming into the country. KK, oh, we've got a satisfied customer. That's fantastic. Thanks. Great info. That's what we're here for on a Wednesday. Absolutely. If I'm listening in the car or whilst walking, I prefer it. Also, if I need to do something else on my tablet whilst listening. Yeah. And I was just thinking I listen to some sort of news channels that it's easy to listen to them on YouTube. But you have to keep the YouTube window open, don't you? And then when you put it in your pocket, it goes on to something else, some dreadful advert or something my kids have been watching or whatever. So I can understand it's uninterrupted listening as well, isn't it, with the podcast? So I will get back to that. Yes, not all vaccines are accepted as they are not EU approved. So I think you're going to have to resort to a test instead of a vaccine certificate in those situations. Hi, this is Carmen from Taiwan. There we go. Taiwan, amazing. Plan to move to Portugal. Initially look for suburban life, but really worry about the forest fires. How serious is it? What region will be less hazardous to wildfire? Okay. Oh, yeah, we've spoken to you before, haven't we, Carmen? FNTKM97 there on YouTube. Okay, so you want suburban life. If by that you mean, on the edge of a town, it really shouldn't be too much of a problem. The things to look out for, I mean, on the one hand, people live with it, don't they, in countries where the temperature and all the circumstances, the environmental circumstances can cause wildfires, and that is something cultures learn to live with. One of the additional problems, and this is possibly the thing to look out for, is where there are monoculture plantations nearby. They are just like, tinder, aren't they? I mean, basically, and they can go up very badly. And when the wind is blowing in the right direction, it causes devastation. So you might find in Portugal, actually, the way that some towns are planned, that on the edge of town, you have your urban, your suburban, and then you might have a monoculture plantation. That's something seriously to look out for. Check out ITMA as well for susceptibility around the country. So it is serious. There's no question. Forest fires happen here and probably will continue to do so. Watch out for plantations. Eucalyptus. Somebody told me we have more eucalyptus in Portugal than they do in Australia. Is that true? But certainly eucalyptus plantations are very susceptible, as are pine plantations, because Portugal grows a lot of trees for pulp. And they've grown in a very intensive way, and it's a disaster when it comes to forest fire situation. So I hope that helps, and I'm sure others will chip in on that, Carmen. Thunderduck, I got a YouTube Premium account, so I could listen on my phone with the screen off. Oh, so that's how it works. Unfortunately, it only works for... Oh, dear. Could be a blessing. Could be a blessing, Thunderduck. See you later. I love podcasts over YouTube because I don't get interrupted by ads. Okay, yeah. I get that, but I think our podcast is monetized now. We are getting adverts on there. It's a funny world we live in, isn't it, with those economic models? Antonio F, in simple terms, I'd say Alentejo, basically no forest there, and bigger towns are wildfire free. Yes, excellent. I take 2 minutes to say something like that, and then Antonio straight in with a simple sentence. Perfect. Thank you, Antonio F. Check out the Alentejo to avoid forest fires. That's for you, Carmen. Use your US license. Absolutely. Don't need to worry about changing an international driver's license. You can use a US license when you come in and do a rental. David Dawson getting a thumbs up from the Antonio. Bon dia, sorry, very late. The show, been moving some furniture about. Sounds like Steptoe's yard. Harold! I've ordered my NIF, and I was thinking, for these companies that are now doing NIFs online, it could be nastynifs.com, couldn't it? But that deserves one of these. And while I find your go back to your comment, well done, MF. You've ordered your NIF. That's a significant moment in the life of anybody moving to Portugal or in Portugal. So my coughing fit apparently is the lack of alcohol. No, I'm not going to buckle. I'm not going to buckle with that. I've only got 10 and a half months to go, I think. Elra laughing at her own joke, an unkind joke there, Elra. I hope you are drinking Yorkshire tea bags. It sounded like I had one stuck in my throat. He's drying out. Literally on air, like a mummy. Yes, enjoy it, everybody. Carl was prepping his voice for that Algarve voiceover. Sounded close. There comes a time in every man's life. Yeah, movie ads used to be like that in the 80s, didn't they? And they got that guy out of retirement to do the Algarve ad, I think. Just saw the app Clear, is digital form for Vax record. Not sure if it's approved in Portugal. Thank you, Shauna, for that. Another little bit of intel coming in the Algarve. Have a great day, folks. We have to run some errands this morning, and then we're heading up to meet Carl today. See you soon, mate. I'll see you then, Randy. That's great. Looking forward to that. Good morning, people, from a stunning day in Lisbon. Hey, Lee. Good morning to you. Thanks for popping in. I know you're a busy guy. And Tyrese, yes, I'm looking forward to coming to Portugal and exploring the country. I do want to move there. Fantastic, Tyrese. Hey, Louise is here as well. Bondi, it's great to be able to make it this morning. You've missed the show. We've missed you as well, Louise. Thank you for being here this morning. Any link to an article about the arsonists? I only see older articles in search results. David, the mention I saw of men being arrested for such terrible behavior was a footnote. It wasn't a particular article about arsonists. It's one of the earlier fire articles that was in the Portugal Resident, which I'm thinking I'm going to share with you if we have time. We found a beautiful house, Stefano, on rental site VRBO. Football. I don't know that one. I negotiated with the owner to rent it for the entire winter and spring. So there you go. If you go to those short-term rental sites and try it on with the owner, it was in a village with expats from Europe and Portuguese. So that sounds like a nice combo and a great recommendation. Thank you for that, Kate. British Portuguese. Yes, 9. Oh. Do you know what, midlife crisis? I think that it's still 90 days for the British, but I need to double check that. Kay Cooper seems happy with the service this morning more than once. I wonder what that was in relation to. We've talked about so many things this morning. Kay Cooper, Afidea in Lisboa, are Analicias Clínicas. That's where you can get a test. Our Pfizer vaccines, Tina, were administered in Hong Kong and are not being recognised by CEF for travel from UK to Portugal. Many Brits with Hong Kong vax are being out in 14-day quarantine in Lisbon. They need to see an EU or NHS digital certificate. So there you go. That's worth knowing, isn't it? Okay. More than once banned from Facebook. 24 hours, but mostly 30 days. Wow. Legend. How can a non-resident show their vaccine is legit? Can we convert EU to EU digital somehow? I think, Tina, we've had the answer to that. Please do share that picture. Okay. A little break from the questions and the forest fires and the vaccines for a moment. Let me share this wonderful picture with you. This is Sagres. Where's it gone? Bear with me. You can see I'm trying to do things that the computer's not allowing. And I transfer these from WhatsApp for your viewing pleasure. And I don't know where they've gone. I'm still contending as well as losing my voice, contending with the little idiosyncrasies of a new computer, and it seems to have closed down WhatsApp for me. And if you do want to send something into me, you can do that on the WhatsApp number 913-590-3003, and it's just cranking its way back up. So I can find it now, I believe. Let's have a look. Where is that lovely picture of Sagres? There it is. Bear with me. I'm going to describe it to you. Sea view, bottle of Pedras. What are those there? Nachos, I think. Okay, I should be able to share it now, as with a few others this morning that are in the pipeline. Oh, come on! Why are you doing this to me, computer? I think I've downloaded it, but there we go. Downloads. No, the downloads have disappeared. Tech support. I need tech support. Oh my goodness. Okay, that hasn't worked. So we're going to have to return to those tomorrow. How disappointing is that? Flipping heck. Not happy about that at all, but what can I do? Okay, back to the comments then. My daughter is currently serving a 30-day ban for inadvertently posting a picture among 20 plus of us, all having fun in a local river at the weekend, which had the tiny boy's Tinky Winky in a tiny Tinky Winky in the corner of the pic. Ridiculous. None of us even saw it present in what was a lovely pic of him and his mum having fun. Yeah, it's the world we live in, isn't it? And I think Apple are scanning your personal private devices now. And a picture of that kind would probably have you imprisoned in the world of Apple. How things have changed. Anyone know when CEF will reopen? Well, there's a question I don't think will get answered. They are on strike, aren't they, currently? Looking for some better conditions and not happy about a number of things. And your guess is as good as mine, I'm afraid, on that. Same thing in the US. This is the comment about marginalized young men. It is open. They just strike for 2 hours a day, Antonio F. Well, that's a good update. Morning late again. Nigel, where have you been? Kate, Stephen Wells, historic information about fires needs to be supplemented by forecasts for climate change vulnerability. Fire risk is rising everywhere. Good point, Kate. We went to Centro do Sol to convert the vaccine to EU digital vaccine, and they wouldn't do it. Sometimes that happens, Tina, I'm afraid, and you'll find yourself in some sort of bureaucratic loop. I would make the acquaintance of the doc, because he's pretty good at this. Andy the Doc Thompson, who joins me next Wednesday. Yes, he'll be here. If you can wait that long, he'll be here next Wednesday. He's very good at how to approach the health service here in Portugal. So sometimes when you get the knockback, it's because somebody just doesn't want to help. And sometimes they need to be reminded of what their obligation is. He's very good at that, and he might be able to help you next Wednesday. You have to schedule in advance by phone or online there. So yes, Seth, make an appointment, at least try that. And of course, you've got your paper trail. If you try and make an appointment, you have at least tried, haven't you? Bon dia to Louise from Matthias. Okay, where else? What else this morning? For US, to get an international driver's license, you can go to the Alcoholics Anonymous of America. You don't have to be a member. It costs about $30. What an excellent term. I know, really, it's the Automobile Association of America. Everything needs an F number. That's a sort of that. I believe that's the Latin inscription beneath the Portuguese flag. Check border. I wonder what that means. Okay, that's for bank accounts, border.io. We're hearing more and more about them, people using them for NEFs and for bank accounts. Bon dia from Sandra Silva. Silva, good morning to you. So, yes, and another mention there of the AAA office helping you to get an international driver's license. Great stuff this morning. Thanks, everybody. Could the young girl have made a mistake and the fire got out of hand, or was it intentional in Adelaide there? And that can happen, can't it? We've probably all been there as kids, haven't we? In playing with fires. We were told not to do, you do it, and you get to realize how dangerous it can be sometimes. I will try to walk in a bank after I've got my NIF in September to open a bank account. I think that's the best way to do it. If you're here, go in. They want your money. Go in and open up an account. I need another sip of water. Excuse me. Oh, my goodness. What a challenge this morning. Try a Portuguese online bank, Ativo, which is the online branch of Millennium. And Marcos Valbon is here. Do you know if Portugal is going to have a big tropical storm this year? I do not. Kate, Carl, is there any way you can trial in a few weeks doing a 90-minute show, say one a week? Honestly, the way things are now, the show is becoming more and more popular around the world every day. My voice, it doesn't seem to be holding up for 90 minutes, but I do appreciate that as a compliment as much as anything else, as well as a request for more content. And it looks like we're going that way. Honestly, let's face it. So many comments in this morning, and I haven't got round to sharing that story with you of overcoming the fire in the south of Portugal yesterday. There were other things I wanted to talk about, other messages that had come through. So it looks like it might be close to 90 anyway. Waiting for EI to make the arrangements. Okay, so that's happening for you. And Seth seems to be the problem there, Andy. I was able to arrange a face-to-face appointment at Finances near where I stayed in September, says Matthias. I went to Finances on some business yesterday. I had a lovely moment, actually. I was at Caldas de Reña trying to go in there and do something. And I heard these two voices outside, and I was thinking, they speak in English. So I went up to them and I said, "Are you guys waiting to get in here?" And this woman went, "Yeah," and then looked at me and went, "I know you from your channel." And it was like, I was like, "Ooh, okay." And I have my mask on, and she recognized me from the telly. And we had the most lovely conversation. And I found out it had been helpful to her while she was making her move. And she's one of these people. I said, "Do you ever comment? Do I know your name?" She said, "No, I'm a bit shy." And it's this moment, one of these for you. Just like that lady, there are others like her, like you listening now, who never comment. And I know you're there. I know you're there, and I'm very grateful to you, because you could assume, couldn't you, that everybody's here comments, but not everybody does, and there are shy people here. So a little bit of love for you there, you folks who are introverted and shy and just watch and don't ever say anything. We know you're there, and we appreciate you. The comments are very busy this morning, Carl. You do amazing to keep up. Well, kind of. I need the bank account for my D7. It is taking up to 6 weeks. Well, it shouldn't take that long. Give Ativo a go. And I think Gilda should be able to help you with it quicker than that. And you might need to take a trip to London, right? Or ring up Millennium BCP in London, see if they can help you. I've sold and let us know how you get on with that. I've sold my house. I need to come to Portugal on the 1st of October. Can I open an online Portuguese bank account quickly? Ativo, I think it is difficult to do that, because they want to prove your identity. So I think you're going to need somebody here who you can give power of attorney to do that, actually, Patricia. But try it. It might be worth the trip to London and Millennium BCP, or they might be able to do a video call with you and verify your identity. But it sounds like you're pretty desperate. So all of those are worth trying, I would have thought. There's also rumors of companies paying local people to set fires so they can clear areas, making people move out. Oh, grim. For lithium mining. Disgraceful. Seriously, if you're seeing this and you're one of those people, have a word with yourself. For heaven's sakes, there's more to life than money. You sad individual. Money's important, but it can't be that important, can it? For heaven's sakes. Okay, no, he's lagging behind as usual, but good effort. I'm going to give you the Iberian slap for that. And this needs another, it probably doesn't need a jingle. It needs a little video, doesn't it? Of Zé Povinho going to you, Matthias, this morning. And I know you're only kidding, and so am I, or am I? I have already left the USA. I live in Lisbon, Tadish, Lisbon. Oh, so Catherine, of course you do. We've already welcomed you into Lisbon, haven't we, before now? So I hope that's helped this morning, Catherine. Otherwise, email me if it's not. It sounds like we need to get you over that particular hump there. No, in capital letters. If vaccine's not accepted, they put you in 14-day isolation. Okay. And you don't get the chance to test there. Okay, so there you go. There it is in unequivocal terms. It was a joke that literally turned into a year traveling the world. The Midlife Crisis World Tour, name their moniker on that YouTube channel. Funnily enough, I watched one of your videos yesterday. Small world, right? Elra, my Angolan brothers' vaccines, or my brother's Angolan vaccines. He was allowed in. Not sure if he had to be tested, but guessing so. He just couldn't go into establishments that require vaccine confirmation, and that is more and more, but especially at the weekends. Okay, so the passport thing is still in operation from Friday evening and over the weekend in some establishments. Where are we? My goodness. Come on, folks. You're going to have to let me go at some point. Hi, if vaccine is not accepted, it's not about resorting to a test. They give you 14-day quarantine. Okay, thank you. We got that loud and clear. Thank you very much, Tina. No, another no. I need a COVID-19 recovered antigen test, please. It's a blood test. Thanks very much. So what are those called? Those Beatriz Godinho, Analisa centers. Try that, Beatriz Godinho. There's so much medical testing here in Portugal. I wouldn't have thought that would be too difficult to find out. Try with that particular chain, Beatriz Godinho. I want to check my antibodies. Okay, had my last one in the UK. There it goes. Okay, we got them all from Antonio F. This is how the men greet each other. Wonder what Portugal looked like before the EU encouraged huge monoculture systems. I wonder. Yes. And same with Great Britain, isn't it? Or England, Gary. A lot of forests were cut down, weren't they? So that people could go to sea and fight each other. Who is on the Friday show? I don't know. I haven't got my computer. I could find out later. I've got a number of tech issues, as you might have gathered here. The most irritating of which is the blooming WhatsApp thing. What's this? Setup is not complete. Do you make yes, exit setup on that particular thread that was running there. I'm downloading to my downloads. Okay, downloads today. Save that there. And then when I open it up, it doesn't seem to open. Let me try this one more time because I've got to show this beautiful picture of Sagres this morning. But when I look for my downloads, they are not there. This is the strangest thing. It really is. And let me just check. And I really want to get to the bottom of this, but I don't want to hold you up unnecessarily whilst I'm sorting out a tech issue live on air. But it really isn't happy with it for some reason. If I try saving it to somewhere else, just one more thing. Let me see if I can do this by saving it to the desktop instead, because that could be a way to do it. And if it doesn't work this time, I promise that I won't hold you up any further. Check, is it on the desktop? No, it's not. That is so weird. Maybe it might be something to do with these flipping. Oh, I think I have found it now. It was searching for MP4s. It was one of the pitfalls of sharing a PC. Nothing to do. I can't blame Microsoft this time. It's probably Mrs. M being on here earlier on, doing other things. It must be one of the. Oh, I see. No user error as usual. Pebcac. Problem exists between keyboard and chair. Rightly and squarely. My stupid fault. But here's the picture. Let's move on. Okay, look at this. Dwell on this for a moment. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I can now bring you the photographs that have been sent to me. And I am so grateful for these. I really am. But look, savor that for a moment. That's Capricorn 12's breakfast view. How lovely is that? Yeah. And I'm thinking, where is that? I want to go there at some point. So where was that? Let's find out from Capricorn 12. This is the Memo Hotel, MEMMO Hotel. That is in Sagres, and you can have a breakfast like that. On first view, I thought it was some oysters, an oyster breakfast. But that's looking pretty good with some nice Pedras fizzy water there, agua con gas. There for you. Isn't that lovely? Okay, we'll move on. And I will bring you some more photographs before we go. It is looking like a 90-minute, isn't it? As you were asking for. So back to the comments, though. Let's get through these. Let's see how if we can help more people here on the comments. Okay, so where did we get to? Tropical storm, opening a bank account, lagging behind as usual. Matthias. Angolan vaccines. Gabo! This is a summary of the comments so far. Bon dia. Oh, look. Frank! Bon dia, my brother Carlito. Looking good. Yes, this is a new higher definition camera. All you need is some Algarvian sunshine and tan. Yeah, I've seen your picture recently, Frank. My goodness. Did you ever see, what was the guy called? Garvo, help me out here. Who does Frank look like at the moment? The guy who did Supermarket Sweep. I think he is not going to thank me for that. Oh, my word. Thanks so much to Antonio F. and to me there for the help to Taiwan. It's a pleasure, absolute pleasure. And to Kate, great strategy, very useful for advice there. Brilliant. Francis is saying, I'm also quite interested in the dual citizen thing. I'm a Portugal citizen. I'll not hang here without voicing my intention. Planning to move to Portugal in the near future. So loving the channel. Thank you, Francis. Thank you very much indeed. Michael, there are single eucalyptus forests in Australia bigger than Portugal. Pedantry. All right. I did say, didn't I, Michael? Somebody told me that. Maybe it was just a sort of Portuguese off-the-cuff comment, but I'm sure you're right. Austin, hello, Andy. Andy via Austin. Bon dia. Love your midweek mix-up shows. I have to have a lie down after him, Andy. Tried the show last night. Not my bag, neither the MC, but this kind of thing is right up my street. So he wasn't one for spiritual Portugal. River Beach at Coimbra yesterday. Costa Nova this afternoon. You're a lucky man, are you not, to live in the Aveiro district? So that River Beach, what is that called? Penacova. Rather nice. And Costa Nova this Arvo. Okay. Andrea, I beg your pardon. I love the show as usual. Thank you for being the best way to start the day. Oh, bless you. Capricorn 12, just start sending more questions and pictures at 9:50. Stop it. Do not encourage people, Stephen Wells. It's easy to get to run to 90 minutes most days. How terrible is that? This is turning into a social experiment. Like, those psychological experiments where people were encouraged to turn the electricity up on someone's probes. They don't know who you are. You can just look through the two-way mirror and do it, and they'll never know who you are. Really? Oh, okay then. It's the equivalent of that, Stephen Wells. We now listen to the shows over dinner in the evening on YouTube. It's Carl time. Oh my goodness. Don't be shy, just do it. Carl has to work longer with more comments. Honestly, Loy Long, more people are coming as well now. Good to catch you live, Carl. I'm in Portugal for another month. Lovely weather. Absolutely. I am sweating here now, not just because of the hot weather, but because of the increased pressure here. Thank you, Carl. You are so fabulous and super helpful. I will email you. No problem at all, Catherine. David Dawson, I would advise avoiding Europa Atlantica online bank. There you go. There's one to avoid. They're as useful as the ones to go for, aren't they? Sorry to use capital letters. I'm not shouting. I didn't think you were. Michael, apparently the girl in Adelaide was intentional. Anyway, moving on. Absolutely. Let's do that. Tina, anyone know how we can apply for a temporary U10? Well, you do have to go to the Centre de Saúde for that, don't you? That's where you get those things. Unless somebody knows better on that. Probably a Portuguese person. Marcos Valbon, storms cannot be forecast in advance, but they are increasingly likely due to ocean temperatures warming. Very good. Fiona, your downloads are not hiding at the bottom of the screen. I found them now. Thank you for that, Fiona. That was frustrating, was it not? We called it seat to trigger interface fault back in the day. Yes, it was me. It was me. And that was a beautiful image. It was worth waiting for, wasn't it? Frank, go! What are these? And Mike Campion, are you interested in a Dutch meetup? What does that mean? Is that like a Dutch oven? Or, I mean, there are so many interesting things that begin with Dutch, aren't there? Dutch cap, Dutch oven, Dutch meetup. What is that? There's a thread on Expats Portugal. Dale Winton. Yes. Frank. Dale. Bom dia. I'm just happy here to improve my English, says Zé Pedro Martins. Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad, Zé. You're so welcome. And so many of us here are trying to improve our Portuguese. I'm glad it's a two-way street. Dale Winton. Just Winton will do. But that is funny, isn't it, Gary? You're laughing out loud at home, I know. Feel free to push the program. Oh, no, come on. I'm at the hospital waiting for my partner to finish tests for 2 hours and 30 now. Duishimea. Appreciate the company. I can't stay on just to keep people company in hospital queues. Can I? You do? You do? You do not. Oh, no, you do not need a NIF to open. Really? No, Paul, come on. Really? Not if you do it in the UK, I wouldn't have thought, but surely, and forgive me for calling you Shirley, Paul, I would have thought you did need a NIF number to open a Millennium account, but happy to be proved wrong, as I often am here. Actually, the Coimbra River Beach was our side of Coimbra. It was deserted. Apparently, it's where the uni students used to go. That's good to know, isn't it? So when they've gone home, you've got that to yourself. That is fantastic. Andy, good tip there. He's not going to tell you where it is, of course, because he wants it to himself. Dale Devane, Frank Winterton, laughing my socks off. Come on down. Did he do that as well? I meant that the Dutchies in this channel might meet up in the Netherlands. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. I know that, but like a Dutch meetup, it could be something entirely different to how it sounds. All right, let's go to like a Dutch oven, for example. Who knew? Until that was explained to me one day, and it took me quite a few hours to stop laughing. That's new for me. I wonder what that is. But happy to be of service there, Zay. Let's have a look then at this dreadful fire that was happening yesterday that is now under control. That's the reason I'm talking about it, because it is under control, and for us to think about how we can help in the aftermath of that. There it is. There were so many personnel and vehicles and aeroplanes there. Castro Marine wildfire brought under control again after 40 hours of hell. So Michael Brujo reporting here. Let's see what he has to say. The wildfire that has been raging for 40 hours has been brought under control for a second time, authorities have announced, because the wind whips it up again, of course. The blaze had already been considered under control yesterday afternoon, but an unexpected turn of events saw the flames reignite and spread aggressively beyond the control of firefighting services. Hopes are that the flames, which spread to the neighbouring boroughs of Vila de Real de Santo Antonio and Tavira, will this time remain under control until they are completely extinguished. Speaking to Lusa news agency, a source from Faro's Rescue Operations Command, SIDOS, said that the risk of the fire posing a threat again is low. Around 530 firefighters continue battling the flames, aided by 190 vehicles and 5 planes and helicopters. Around 9,000 hectares of land have already been destroyed. Unimaginable, right? The fire has forced the evacuation of 81 people from their homes and nearly 200 animals, 80 dogs and 110 cats from the Castro Marin and VRSA intermunicipal kennel. One firefighter was injured but has since returned home. No injuries have been reported among citizens. Thank goodness for that, and that the firefighter was okay. There are reports of several houses having been destroyed or damaged by the flames, although a GNR spokesman said today during a press conference to address the fire that he had only information about a workshop that was destroyed. A more comprehensive review of the damage caused was promised to take place after the fire is put out. Meanwhile, Tavira's municipal firefighters have taken to Facebook to thank those who have donated water and food to the brave men and women battling the flames. They added that no further donations are needed, and as those that have already been made are sufficient for the work that lies ahead in the coming years. Well, that's good to know, isn't it? That they've got what they need for the time being. I'm having a look at Debbie Burton's contributions to this particular challenge, difficulty for the country. She's a legendary fundraiser, and she said a little while ago this morning, spoken with the Bomberos, they say they have plenty of supplies, but we'll let you know if things change. For those in the east, there is a warehouse at the Rua de Emigrant number 1 in Paixão. And so TAT, whatever that is offered storage space for donations. Any donations at drop-off point, please let me know and I will arrange collection and storage. So Debbie Burton, amazing person who you can friend up on Facebook, and she will keep you up to date on what you can do in the Algarve, okay? Hopefully, we're not going to be needing any emergencies again this year. Any medical supplies I will give immediately to the Bomberos in the East Algarve. And I cannot thank you all enough for your generosity and support. Fingers crossed that this is our last biggie this year. Well, absolutely. Fingers crossed on that. So resolved for the time being. Let's stay vigilant. Keep in touch with what's going on with fogos.pt, fogos.pt. And let's hope, yes, that is the last of the worst ones this year. I also had a message in from Dave and Debbie, who were regulars some time ago, who occasionally pop in now. And they say it's been a very frightening 36 hours here. We had to be evacuated from our village. These are the people we know in our community here. The emergency services saved many homes. The Casella Dog Haven was saved again. And the great news now, they have their license to continue to do amazing work. So the Casella Dog Haven rescued for a second time. And I think there was some doubt as to whether it could continue with its work. It looks like it can. And thank you, Dave and Debbie. And I hope you're safely back in your home now there. Awful. Nubianet, fires are horrible. We're back to having smoke as a weather feature in my part of California. That does sound terrible, Nubianet. €5 a month is a normal price. I believe I pay like 40 a year for my Dutch bank account. In that light, €5 a month sounds much. It is expensive having a bank account in Portugal. You need one for official purposes, don't you, if you're doing a visa? But there's nothing to stop you switching to something like, Revolut or some of the cheaper online options. I think it's worth keeping one open, actually, for the price you do have to pay. It is worth having a proper Portuguese bank account, but it is expensive. Absolutely. Okay, last few comments. Please stop putting them in just to wind me up, you rascals. That is trolling of a high order. I'm going to put this on again. Dale Devane, Frank Winton. You are looking amazingly bronzed at the moment, and we're just jealous, basically, Frank. Okay, just woke up, says Nubianet, and I'm still alive. I am. Yes, at 20 past blooming 10. And Nubianet, help me out here. They're being horrible to me and making me stay on for 2 hours, or trying to. Millennium do it on a NIB number, which allows you to have an account. Okay, so there you go. Temporary bank account ish, or temporary NIB number to do the processes. That's really good to know, Paul. Thank you for that. Sorry for doubting you. We'll try Millennium, says Matthias. Heard it's a good bank to work with, or am I wrongly informed? What is it? It's a bit like, no, I'm not going to say that, but they're banks. That's the thing to say. They're all banks, and it's the least worst in my view, and they're not so bad. I use Eurobic and I use Millennium BCP, and it so often depends on if you find a bank with helpful staff who, when it gets to a really difficult issue like restarting your online banking or going into the complexities of the health insurance that you might take out with them, will they speak to you in English or Dutch on those occasions? Okay, so it's about the staff and how helpful they are. Will they ring you up when you're about to go overdrawn, which happened to me in Urbic? I got a phone call. This is the bank in the town. We're just letting you know that you need to transfer some money, and otherwise you're going to go overdrawn this afternoon. How good is that? That's what you're paying €8 a month for. I think that sort of level of service. So go somewhere where you get good personal service from the staff. That's worth bearing in mind, as well as the brand of the bank. It's MasterCard too. What? Oh, I've got Millennium, €5 a month, says Andy. I meant I was I know you did, Michael. Love the show. Absolutely. Yes. None taken, my friend. I think it's funny that we imagined, or I imagined, that there might be more eucalyptus trees actually than there are in Australia. We haven't got any koala bears up them yet, but it's only a matter of time, of course, isn't it? It's a MasterCard too. I must have missed something there. Someone has to work. I'm from Porto. Feel free to ask for help if you need it. Thank you, Zay. Yeah, good morning to you in Porto. The Tripeiras, the Tripeters of the country up there in Porto. Good morning to you, mate. Careful there, Frank. Too much sun, booze, and salty air, and you end up looking like an old saddle. Moisturize, and moisturize, as Dale would do. Absolutely right. It's the joke that keeps on giving. Mondi Alegria. Hello, Victoria. A second time seeing you in about 12 hours. Thanks for being with us last night. Bye. Says, yes, people are leaving now. I know some of you want an hour and a half and 2 hours, but others have work to do, like Zay here. Is €5 a month a normal price? Oh, we've done that one, haven't we? I'm getting confused now. So you're wearing me out. And lots of people talking to each other as usual. €5 is pretty normal, says Elra. Some banks will not have a monthly fee depending on your total in your accounts. I see. Carl, you are a warrior, being on again this morning. Thank you for all you do. Oh, thanks, Victoria. That's very kind of you. Oh, look at this. And right back at you, Victoria. I see you. Frank is very handsome. No question. I mean, we were never questioning Frank's handsomeness, were we? We're having a little dig at it, possibly, with our comments. But yeah, he's a good-looking legend, is that man. Like you have over €5,000 in direct payments and receiving a wage on that account, then they'll let you have it free. Frank Winton. It's going to stick. That's why I like Ativo. The first thing it says when you call is press 1 for English or 2 for Portuguese. There you go, Louise. Excellent. Let the poor man go. Let's start a petition online, and it'll be like Brexit. Who wants him to stay on for 2 hours? 48% of the people, or 52, and then vice versa. Most unsatisfactory. Let's have a referendum. That always helps. You were looking for a collective noun the other day. How about Portu trolls who keep the show running? I see you too as well, Stephen, making those sorts of suggestions to people. We have proved that Good Morning Portugal needs... Stop it, Capricorn 12. I think we need to work on getting Cole. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. If you can get me a chauffeur, maybe. I need to stipulate a rider, don't I? I need to become a bit more of a diva. I'm just going to say I need to become a diva. I probably am a diva already, to be fair, but I need to become more of a diva and have a rider. So I'll do 90 minutes as long as there's a bowl of blue M&Ms and I'm chauffeured. It's going to be difficult to be chauffeur driven to the studio because actually I just walk across from the bedroom into the studio room. I'm going to work on it. Okay, I'm going to see that you make it worth my while to turn up for 90 minutes. Okay. Maybe pastel de natas, possibly a shoulder massage, those sorts of things. But yes, Capricorn 12, more sponsorship. That's a great idea. The Good Morning Telethon. Why don't we just do a 168-hour special, which is a whole week of broadcasting? Okay, I did promise you more photographs, didn't I? And they are going to come now. This is the climax of the show this morning. What else have we got here? I think we've got Will Thompson with a nice couple of pics from his, I think he's in Goish at the moment, up there with dog Sheshe. One that came through, if this is your picture, and I know you, but it's difficult when people send me things on WhatsApp and they're not in my phone book already, because it doesn't say what your name is. And I get in that embarrassing situation where I need to ask straight away, because if I leave it for 2 weeks and you keep sending me photos, you assume that I know who you are, and I don't, and it becomes too embarrassing to ask. This one, for example, lovely to receive this one. I can't see who you are from the WhatsApp number, and I suspect I do know you. So thank you very much for that delightful orchid, I think, that came in last night. Back to Goish in central Portugal. There's Shay having a little wander down an avenue there. That looks so central Portugal to me, with a lovely Parque de Merendas picnic area there and a river beach not far away. There it is. Isn't that lovely? In these hot days of getting up to 40 degrees, you can plunge yourself in that river beach there. Absolutely delightful. And you know you're not going to be far away from a cup of coffee and a pastel de nata and some salgados. Is that what they call some salty snacks and some lovely things from a local cafe that overlooks the river beach? The joy of Portugal, my friends. And where's WhatsApp gone? It's disappeared again. I can't believe it. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. And I do thank you for winding me up so much this morning, for persisting with me through a terrible coughing fit and technical difficulties and all sorts. And you're here, bless you. I will send you a furniture mover for the chauffeur. Thank you very much. Your laugh proves you don't really want to leave us. I know, Andrea. It's my ego's getting fed, you see. It's a mixed blessing. Emigrate to Porto from Hakan's Life and Travels, Faro, and renovate those old buildings and settle in nearby the scenic riversides, oceanside, and tap the cheap beers and wines. Well, there's a nice strap line for Hakan's, Hakan's Life and Travels there. That sounds like a plan. It's always hot, humid in all Portugal, and trains move into whichever city you wish. Everywhere in Portugal is green pasture with forests. I think we've got some poetry coming on there. I think there's a little bit of poetic license in there, I have to say. Some of it is not green pasture, and sometimes it's blooming cold and damp, as Mrs. M often tells us. But I get the gist, Hakan, and I'm with you on that. I prefer to look on the upside. I miss Goish, says Elra. Good to see it hasn't changed. Oh, that's nice. So you get to see a picture of the old place there. Thanks, Carl. Much appreciated from Jersey. Hey, Jersey. Maybe we'll manage to get a coffee as you come past this part of the country. That's, of course, if I'm not still online, doing the show. It's not hot. It's not all green pasture, says Antonio F., a real Portuguese person with a bit of a rebuttal there. Have a great day. Let him get a cuppa. Thank you, Andy. Finally. All right. Have a great day. I'm working on a moving to Portugal guest, as we like to do on a Thursday. No idea what's happening on Friday. Is it Jenny B? Jenny B might be with us. She might not be with us on Friday. I don't know. Watch this space. I'm too tired now even to contemplate what's going to happen tomorrow. I need to have a cup of tea and a lie down, and I will look forward to your company. Look at this. Heck, it hasn't been over 25 degrees where we live. So stop with your nonsense. But I do like your Portuguese poetry there. Have an excellent day, what's left of it. And we'll see you tomorrow. Whatever's going to happen, whoever's here, we will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye for now. Beijinhos, abraços, meus amigos.